Now at 6, a devastating scene inside a Clark County home.
And once the loudspeakers stopped, we all really knew something terrible had happened.
What neighbors witnessed just before 5 people were discovered dead in what appears to be a murder-suicide.
Right now, it's too unsafe for any rescuer to enter the water.
A rescue attempt becomes a recovery mission as a person is swept away in rushing water. And the risk remains with much more rain ahead. And
he was going to get it done and over with, and now it's delayed to January.
Patients stuck living in pain, why Providence hospitals are delaying hundreds of elective surgeries.
We all kind of put 2 and 2 together and realized that, something really wrong was going on.
Tragedy in a quiet Clark County neighborhood after the sheriff's office responded to an apparent murder-suicide Sunday afternoon that claimed the lives of 5 people. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm China Green. Investigators believe all 5 were already dead by the time they arrived at the home on Northeast 92nd Street in the Orchards area. Alma McCarty is live now with the latest information. Alma.
Well, China, the sheriff's office tells me they are still working to notify, next of kin. So it will take likely a few days for them to reveal the identities of the victims and of the suspect. But what we do know is that all 5 were related. Deputies believe that the suspect, a man, shot and killed his wife, his 2 adult daughters, and his brother before turning the gun on himself.
Once they brought the drone out, we heard the glass breaking and stuff like that. And then once the loudspeakers stopped, we all really knew something terrible had happened.
What started as a welfare check on Northeast 92nd Street in Vancouver Sunday afternoon turned into a crime scene investigation by Sunday night. Nearby neighbors like J.D. Hartman recall the feelings of dread.
So when everything goes silent, like dead silent, it's like, you just feel it. You feel it in your heart and you feel it in your bones, and it was super bone chilling, and we all just kind of looked at each other and we're like, man, this isn't good.
The big sheriff van pulled up and we knew something was off then because, they also were calling it a welfare check and SWAT was here. So everybody knew initially that it wasn't just a welfare check. Lily Lewis says she and her family heard screams around 2:40 in the afternoon, but investigators say there was no communication coming from in or around the home.
I'm 100% certain they didn't have any exchange, because had we had an exchange or something with somebody at the residence, then we maybe have, or if we hear someone screaming for help, that creates that exigency right away. And of course, deputies are going to go in and deal with that and try to take care of, if someone's at risk right then and there.
Sergeant Chris Skidmore explains the suspect sent a text to a relative near Seattle Sunday morning that he had harmed other people in the house. However, that relative did not see the message until after noon.
So that was kind of what they were going off of. After talking with the family, we knew that there was a possibility of firearms involvements.
When deputies entered the home, they found 5 people dead.
We do believe we have kind of the relationships of the family. So the suspect obviously was deceased along with his wife and then 2 adult daughters, and then the suspect's brother as well, for the total of 5.
Although neighbors we spoke with say they didn't know the family well, they're heartbroken for all involved.
That really does make you think you want to reach out more.
It was a shocking one. 2 is just, we all got that eerie feeling when it went silent, you know what I mean?
Again, it will take some time to learn the identities of the victims and the suspect in this apparent murder-suicide. We will let you know when we learn more. Live in Clark County, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Thanks, Alma. And if you or someone you know is in crisis, there is help available for you. You can text or call 988 on any phone. It'll connect you to a crisis center and a trained counselor. To weather now, you're taking a look at downtown Portland, where it is still 65 degrees on this December 4th. After the wet weekend, we got a break from the rain for most of the day today, but things are starting to change. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino is in the West Weather Center. We're tracking the next round of that heavy rain. Matt.
Well, and there's a lot of heavy rain coming our way. It's raining hard at Newport right now. It's tough to see it at the moment, but it's been coming down, and the winds are getting rather strong. We're getting a gust right now from this weather station of 23, but I saw some other gusts in the Newport area of over 50 miles an hour this evening. So it's really beginning to pick up, the winds and the rain. The rain is filled back in here in the Portland area. The heaviest rain, though, is still out along the Oregon coast. So that's going to be slowly moving on in overnight tonight. After about midnight is when the rain is really going to get heavy, and it's going to stay with us right on through Tuesday and even into Wednesday before it begins to back on off. Let's look at some of the rainfall totals since Saturday, really since late Friday night, midnight Friday into Saturday. Up at Timberline, I'm sure they're over 6 inches by now. Amazing. Nearly 10 inches in the Bull Run. They'll exceed that if they haven't already. Little Sandy Am River, nearly 8 inches of rain. The Nehalem River out of the Coast Range, 5.52, and the Portland Airport, well over 2 inches of rain, and we will double that most likely by the end of the week, if not sooner than that. So for all of those reasons, we've got a flood advisory up for the western valleys. So that also includes the metro area, which means urban areas, storm drains, intersections, low-lying areas can easily fill with water. It'll take a while for those to recede with the heavy rain that's coming our way, and that extends all the way down to Eugene, then up north of Seattle as well. And then there's the record warm weather. 65 was our high today. We're down to 60 right now, but the overnight low was only 56. That's a record warm overnight low. So the warm weather is going to continue overnight as we drop into the 50s. Heavy rain into Wednesday. And the good news is, China, that snow will be falling in the passes and, more importantly, on the ski hills as we go into Wednesday night and the rest of the week. More on this later. Back to you.
Matt, thank you. And with that additional rain on the way, rivers and streams in the area are full and running fast. It appears one person has already been killed getting stuck in the rushing water. Meteorologist Joey Neary joins us live near Johnson Creek with how quickly conditions can change. Joe.
Hey there, China. Yeah, we can obviously see the conditions have changed dramatically over the last couple of days, especially with Matt talking about all the different impressive rainfall amounts we've been seeing basically since Friday night and into Saturday. But earlier today, Portland Fire and Rescue were out here along Johnson Creek after they were responding to a call of a person who was swept out here in the creek earlier this morning. They also had help with folks from the Clackamas County and Multnomah County Sheriff's Office searching for the person, but the conditions were too dangerous for even them to search very long. The rescue sadly turned into a recovery earlier today. Rick Graves with Portland Fire and Rescue says a crew fell off their rescue raft at one point just trying to locate the victim, but the crew was able to quickly get back on shore safely.
The water is moving very quickly. We have swift water rescue or swift waters occurring. You've got lots of logs down creating these strainers, much like the pasta colander you have at home. Water flows through, hard matter doesn't.
Now, Graves told me earlier today that a crew will go back out here to try to recover that body when conditions are a little bit safer and when the conditions improve. But obviously, that probably won't be happening until the later part of this week. As for the river levels along the Willamette River, we didn't see any major flooding just yet, but along the Willamette River there at Willamette Park in the Selwood area you might be familiar with, we did see some of those levels starting to spill over near the banks. It's also starting to see a little bit of some flooding near Sandy, but that's because of all the incredible amount of snowfall, or snow melt, I should say, that we've been seeing over the last couple of days with our warm conditions and, of course, the rain as well. But conditions will obviously change dramatically here over the next 24 to 48 hours with rainfall that will be measured in inches. And, of course, Matt will be talking more about that later on in the show. Reporting live in Southeast Portland tonight, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
Thanks, Joe. And your other headlines tonight with more winter weather coming soon. Today, Governor Tina Kotek announced a $19 million funding boost for ODOT. Officials say the money will help with maintenance services, improvements, and allow them to buy new snowplow trucks. The agency previously said budget shortages would result in winter service reductions, such as less frequent plowing and de-icing treatment. So this is good news for drivers.
It does allow us to immediately restore overtime. So we are going to be able to have more snowplows out on the road over the day. So people will be able to plow longer hours. They'll be able to respond to incidents for more hours through the day. And we'll be able to keep those winter maintenance service levels higher than they would have been.
However, ODOT tells KGW the new funding will not go toward graffiti removal efforts on highway signs and in the Portland Metro. A teenage girl who was reported missing out of Clatsop County last month has been located with her boyfriend in upstate New York. 15-year-old Penny Lyles and 18-year-old Jonathan Stockel left Napa High School back on November 14th after a reported family argument. Now, at the time, authorities said that they may have been traveling to Missouri, but police in the town of Warwick, New York, about 40 miles north of New York City, said the pair turned themselves in this morning. They said Lyles and Stockel are safe and cooperating with investigators. Portland City Commissioner Dan Ryan will not be running for mayor next year. He made that announcement today. Portland will have a new form of government after the 2024 election, and the mayor's race is wide open after Mayor Ted Wheeler said he will not be seeking a third term. Commissioner Ryan says he'll decide next month if he wants to run for one of the 12 seats for City Council. Current Commissioner Mingus Mapps has already announced that he is running for mayor. Hundreds of elective surgeries at 2 Portland Providence hospitals have been delayed. We're told it's because they're transitioning to a new anesthesia service provider. Daisy Caballero is here with the details. And Daisy, you spoke with a Portland family who's had their surgery postponed not once, but twice.
Yes, twice, 2 separate surgeries, China. Sue Phillips is one of the hundreds of people in this same situation. And if we can continue with thank you so much. Her husband has been waiting for his knee surgery since August, and now he won't get it done until next month at a different hospital. Providence says both Providence, Portland, and St. Vincent Medical Center announced the transition to a new provider, Sound Physicians, back in July. In a statement to KGW, the hospital group says part of the reason for the change was to, quote, provide consistent anesthesia coverage for patients and surgeons. They went on to say, we believe this switch will enable us to get closer to our typical volumes early next year. In the meantime, people like Mike Phillips are in pain and in need of surgery. His wife Sue was a nurse at Providence for 40 years and says it's been hard to wait.
His pain is not only affecting his mobility, but his sleep, rest pattern, mood. It's not just being able to walk with a knee. There's other things that are impacted by that.
While Providence says it understands the impact delay surgeries has on its patients, it's doing its best to overcome the anesthesiology shortage both here locally and nationally. They also tell me 76 new anesthesia providers will have gone through their orientation process by the end of this week collectively at both hospitals. China?
All right, thank you, Daisy.